Greetings to members and friends of Countryside Church Unitarian Universalist. I'm Doree Bryant, and I serve as the president of your Board of Trustees. I am coming to you today on behalf of the board, who wanted to reach out to you during this challenging and rapidly changing time. Along with all of you, we miss seeing everyone's friendly faces at worship and book group and choir rehearsal and Sunday school and transitions, and well, the list could go on and on. In fact, I imagine many of us are actually missing seeing each other in person at committee meetings at this point. But thanks to our hardworking staff and several volunteers, we have been able to continue the work of the church in new ways. This has taken a lot of time, effort, learning, and experimentation to find avenues for continued and meaningful connection. And the board would like to thank the staff and these volunteers for working so tirelessly to keep us together as a church family and to attend to our needs during this unparalleled time in our history. We have been able to be nimble in responding to the recommendation to shelter in place and now the subsequent lockdown. Many issues have been addressed with turning toward online avenues for worship, meetings, and other gatherings for the time being. The board recognizes that we are all experiencing anxiety in the midst of uncertainty. While we don't know each of your individual circumstances and the challenges and fears you may be dealing with, we are aware that everyone is finding it necessary to make adaptations in our home and work lives. Similarly, the board is looking at modifications that will need to be made in order to keep our church home and family operational and ready for an eventual return to something more approximating normal. In regards to the current church fiscal year, which runs until the end of June, we know there will be some reductions to our income stream, such as rental fees paid by outside groups who utilize our facility. In the face of these reductions, we stand by and support the ongoing work of our minister and professional staff during this time and are committed to making sure they continue to be compensated for their work. The board has discussed logical places where cuts could be made to the budget without loss of service. For instance, we have put our garbage service on hold for now and adjusted the thermostats for an empty facility. And yesterday, Reverend Hillary, Laurie, Allison, and Mary met to identify other areas where savings can be made as a result of the temporary alterations that will be occurring to our programming. As for looking ahead to the upcoming 2021 fiscal year, our annual stewardship canvass demonstrated a tremendous generosity on the part of our congregation, with many homes raising their pledges. At the same time, a few key households, for a variety of reasons, needed to lower their expected contribution or shared that they have plans to move out of the area for work or family reasons. At our budget team meeting on March the 4th, we were already struggling with how best to approach the congregation with the dilemma that, even after making cuts to the proposed budget, there is still a significant gap between expected income and necessary expenses for next church year. Not long after that evening meeting, we all encountered the unprecedented challenge of the coronavirus and its accompanying fallout. As you might expect, congregations all over the country, UU and otherwise, are facing the impact of this crisis, and the Countryside staff and board are already availing ourselves of the resources and advice being shared with us by the denomination. During the coming weeks, we will be sharing with you what we are learning and what that might mean to things like how to put together a budget in a time of extreme unpredictability and what happens to the annual congregational meeting. We will also be looking at ideas for creative fundraising in a time of online rather than on-site gatherings. So stay tuned and we will continue to reach out to you with information as we know it. In the meantime, we are aware that some of you were already considering an increase to your pledge. This would be a source of much joy and celebration and can be done by contacting Laurie at 847-359-8440. We appreciate you digging deep and helping us to keep our commitments to our staff, our facility, and our program. At worship last Sunday, Reverend Hillary spoke of being masterpieces of connection. Your Board of Trustees wants to honor our connection to you by being available by phone, email, or text to hear any questions or concerns you have to share with us. You may find our contact information on the Church Breeze system or by calling the church office. These calls are forwarded now to Laurie, where she is working from home, just as when you call Reverend Hillary's office, the calls are forwarded to her home. The last few weeks have shown us the meaningful place Countryside Church has in our lives, as we see 130 plus households sign in for Sunday service and religious school, and hear about the online meetings and gatherings we have participated in to maintain our connections with each other in new ways. In a slight change to the original literary language, these are the times that try our souls. May we continue to bring our resources, our leadership, and our creativity to actualizing our values and principles to meet the challenge of these times. Thank you, take care, keep in touch, and stay well.